Hello, I'm Joyce Woodworth. Welcome to the Spirit of the Heartland. We're standing outside of Grace Place on 2nd Street in Winona, Minnesota. To some of us, it's a great place to get excellent deals on furniture, clothing, and dishes. But the store is really the secondary purpose of Grace Place. It simply provides the funding for the concept behind this organization. We're going to go inside today and talk with the founder to find out exactly what it's all about. The store is on the right side of the building facing 2nd Street. In it, you'll find a department store-like atmosphere with a great variety of items, all at super bargain prices. There's a great selection of jewelry, dishes, games, books, and furniture. Housewares of all sorts are found here, all donated and a bit used but still functional. There's a good variety of clothing, jeans, sweaters, coats, all for under $5. There are toys and books for children and adults. Kitchen items including beautiful sets of dishes and bowls. And many, many seasonal items. Not to mention a great place to find gifts. This is Andy Bickford, who is a student at Winona State University, and Andy has been an intern here for his degree at Winona State University, which is in what?
Sociology is my major, with the family studies option.
Okay. Now you have a unique story about Grace Place, because not only were you an intern helping them, but then in turn they helped you. Mm-hmm. Do you want to share that story with us?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I originally became an intern here about a year ago, and I wasn't aware of what Grace Place had to offer. I just, thought that Grace Place was just a thrift store, mm-hmm. and I had no clue. It was a nonprofit. I didn't know anything about Grace Place. When I found out that I was going to have a child of my own, I realized that they had a lot of people here that could offer me some really good emotional help and some things that would help me down the road as far as taking care of my child. I had a lot on my plate at the time with school and working full-time. Carla, especially, with her motherly instincts, would help me out with that, mm-hmm. and she did.
Oh,
and she
great.
was always there to support me. I wasn't truly understanding of how Grace Place helps the entire community. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wasn't thinking outside of, okay, this is a thrift store. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
It made me, I don't know how to respect all people for who they really are.
Mm-hmm. We're in the back of the store right now, and we're standing with Dale Kammer, who is one of the volunteers here. And I understand that Carla tells me that she really could not get along without you, because you are the person responsible for making sure everything works before they put it out into the store.
Yes, that's right. It has to have my seal of approval on it before it goes out. If I wouldn't buy it, I don't put it out. I stay pretty busy back here, checking all the incoming electronic, whether it's toys, TVs, microwaves, or whatever.
And Dale, you devote a lot of hours here, and I understand it's all volunteer. What inspires you to do this?
Well, I guess I retired 5 years ago and didn't have much to do. All of a sudden you're retired and you're not prepared for it. I needed to do something, and when I was a child, I came from a broken home, and if it wouldn't have been for a lot of the charities in my hometown, we would have been short come Christmas and all the other important times for families. So I decided that I wanted to give back. It's become my second family. And the things that we do for the community, the people in need, really fills my heart. And I get paid so much more now here than I have ever in any job that I've done. and to hear the children in their singing classes and stuff in the morning, it really warms me.
That's wonderful. It doesn't get much better than that, does it?
No, it doesn't.
No.
No.
Well, thank you for all your volunteer hours and seeing that this place hums like a top. The other side of the building serves a very different purpose. This is not a store, but a community area. There are classrooms along one side of this large room, which are filled with the voices of young children throughout the day. The doors of the classrooms lead to comfortable gathering areas. Grace Place began in the early 90s with one woman's dream.
How are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today?
Carla Burton, the director of this one-of-a-kind organization, tells us how she got started first by helping young unwed mothers and how Grace Place now reaches out to help families with all types of needs.
I was scrubbing the floor and listening to the Christian radio cover the activity that was going on in front of abortion clinics, and listening to the pro-life position and the pro-choice position, and just kind of pondering in my mind and just said a quick prayer to God that this doesn't seem to be doing much good, Lord. What could I do? And it wasn't long after that that I had a vision or idea for a shelter here in Winona for young pregnant women. Because I thought about what would I do if I were a woman that was walking into that situation, and I think I would be really afraid and not know which way to turn. And I believe that God gave me an idea for a gentle way to work with families. We began to pray about it. I began to pray with a group at church, and it wasn't long before we were writing a letter to a national corporation which chooses to remain anonymous, telling them about our idea, and they responded. And within a few months, we were talking with their director of charitable giving, and when he called us, he said, you can go pick out any house in Winona, and we will pay for the cost of the house.
Wow, that's a great way to start.
It was a shock.
Yeah.
It was kind of like winning the lottery, only it wasn't exactly the same. But then we started looking for a house. We chose the house on the corner of 5th and Franklin Street, and then began the Grace Place ministry that same year in December. It was 1992, December, and our family moved in. We were the house parents. We were part of the board. I was the director, and wore a lot of hats, but we weren't very big at that time. One evening in March at about 10 o'clock, there was a knock at the back door, and there was a young woman who came to the door who was pregnant. We began to talk, and pretty soon she said, Carla, I'm pregnant, and I need a place to stay. I'm homeless. And that was the first girl. We ran it as a group home for single pregnant teens in the beginning, and then we moved into women in their early 20s because we saw the trend of women having being single parents in their 20s growing. We did that for about 10 years.
Okay, great. And how many women do you think you helped at that point in those 10 years?
We were helping approximately 50 women per year.
And then when did you purchase the building on 2nd Street?
We've been in here 6 years.
Okay.
So it was 2003.
Okay. So you've been in the building since 2003. Tell me now, you have changed somewhat in your original philosophy. You're just not helping pregnant young teenagers. You are expanding to family issues and helping people in many other ways. Let's talk about how you do help people with this organization.
At the heart of Grace Place is the mentoring program. It's that very personal one-on-one work that we do here, and I think we do that really well. We usually develop an individual learning plan for each person who comes here.
So when I was 17, I moved to Winona because I got pregnant as a teenager, so I moved here to live with my brother so I could live more independently. And I went to the ALC, And then from there, I got a boyfriend whom I got pregnant with again. And we had come in here a couple times, like mostly to get like help with, we shopped and stuff. But then after the flood, we were affected. And it actually was like maybe almost a year after the flood that we really got help with the Grace Place. And we needed storage because we were going to be living in a shelter in La Crosse because we had nowhere to go. And so Carla gave us a place for our stuff first.
It's been an encouraging place, and it filled some practical needs.
After a while, stuff didn't go well with what he was now my husband, and it became abusive, and he's actually going to prison for stuff. And my kids ended up having to go with their aunt in Ohio for a while, which they are now. And Carla's helped me a lot, letting me volunteer, giving me something to do. And they've prayed with me a lot and given me clothes for court, or just clothes, period. And they've let me volunteer and use my art skills here, and I've gotten to go to different art classes. And I don't know, there's like always been a really big support group.
It's given a lot of reassurance, and I think just a sense of community, acceptance.
I'd drift away and they'd bring me back here, so like I couldn't get away. So Carla's just helped me a ton with everything. They let me play the piano because I don't have one and I love to play. And somebody to talk to. When I didn't have a place to live, they helped me try to find a place, make phone calls, just like anything I needed. Supplies for at home, a meal, clothes. I mean, I've been through car accidents in labor and children not having food to feed them, and abusive relationship. And the whole time I had these people to turn to. So.
We have some very good soup to eat tonight. Chicken soup, you like that? With rice and some salad and some bread. All right.
On Tuesday evenings, we have a breaking bread meal where we invite the families we're serving as well as any volunteers or anybody who wants to be a friend of Grace Place just to pop in and share bread and soup with us. We also have a free shelf here at Grace Place where we provide diapers and basic household things that people need. We give those out to the general public, but it's also a way to get a contact with people who we've never had contact with before. We also have an infant class called Evening Song where we work with parent and child together. We promote eye contact, intentional touch, and vocal play and interaction with the babies.
Let's sing hello, hello. Let's sing hello, hello. Hi-ho the dairy-o. Let's sing hello, hello.
We're socializing together as parents with our children. So it's like we get to interact with our kids, and at the same time we're interacting with each other. So it's really good as parents to talk to other parents and be able to talk about our daily struggles. And
one other program we have here is Godly Play, which is sharing God's Word through music and movement and storytelling. It's just a delightful class, and it really meets the social, emotional, and spiritual needs of families.
The art of storytelling is something that isn't practiced a lot today, and it's just something that we'd like to offer the Winona community. So after the story is presented, and children learn to respect a storyteller and listen, they are invited to answer some questions, and the questions are usually wondering questions like, I wonder what the most important part of this story is, or I wonder what your favorite part of the story is, or I wonder if there's any part of the story that could be left out. And after that, I ask them to watch where I put the story in case they want to use it sometime. And then they have some free time to express themselves through artwork or going to the shelves and working with one of the stories. And we have a snack, we have a blessing, And that's the end of the class.
I love Grace Place because it has given me a lot of counseling. It counseled me in hardest times when I was going through crisis, and I went through divorce, and I didn't have no self-esteem at all. And the family of Grace Place really helped me to succeed and to be able to be myself. I think I'm going to be doing this every week, and I think it's very helpful for me and for him, to be able to, for Christopher, to be able to spend some time with Mommy and to learn different things. And also, I just can feel the peace and the patience, and all the love is just all around here. And it's just wonderful to feel that. Sometimes with the hectic life, doing this, it's just non-stop. And you come here and you can feel the peace, and it's very nice to feel that.
Angels watching over me. Now I lay me down to sleep. Angels watching over Claire, my Lord. Pray the Lord her soul to keep. Angels watching over Claire. Angels watching over Christopher, my Lord. Pray the Lord his soul to keep. Angels watching over Christopher. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Morning Music is a music program that promotes literacy. It has a lot of music and movement and phonemic awareness.
How are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? Only sunshine, you make me happy when the skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away.
I wonder if you could clap your knees. Where are they?
Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you?
I wonder if you could clap your elbows and your knees. Can you do both? Your elbows and your knees?
Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? How are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? How are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? That's not fast enough. Jump faster. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes, yes, yes, yes, yes, yes, yes, yes, yes, yes, yes, yes, yes.
No, 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 no. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Whoa. Little, 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 little. Whoa. A fox went out on a chilly night and prayed for the moon to give him light. For many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. For many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh.
The class meets on Tuesday and Thursday, and it's from 9 to 10:30. It's for any family, friend, or neighbor who is a caregiver of a young child. And what we focus on is the foundations of literacy. We have sign language, we have songs, we have movement, we have music, we have rhythm and rhyme, and also the components of reading, moving from left to right, phonemic awareness, which is letter sounds, not the names of letters like A, B, C, but the letter sounds.
We have been coming to Grace Place for morning music for about a year and a few months, from last fall. And I have Ian, who's 5, and Jocelyn, who's 3 months, Yvonne here, who is 2, and Makara, who's somewhere else, and she's 4. Well, we do it for our kids. Ian is learning to read, and we homeschool him, so this is a nice opportunity for him to be out of the home and investigate other toys and different opportunities. And Makara's learning her sounds and her numbers and letters. She's just doing preschool stuff. And Yvonne is
learning how to follow directions. It's nice to have someone else give them my kids direction besides me, so they can learn that other adults are to be respected as well. And we just try to keep baby Jocelyn happy. That's all she does right now.
Well, we love that our kids get to see other children, and it's wonderful that they get to play together, and they have Carla to kind of facilitate helping them with reading skills and math skills, and it just facilitates a better learning environment for them.
I saw an article in the Winona Daily News about morning music, and I have Madison on my days off. Madison is our son, John, and his wife, Jenny's daughter. And she's the first grandchild we've had in town, so we're really enjoying her. The interacting with the other children and the other parents and grandparents that come here. We've become friends, so I enjoy it a lot.
We also have a resource center where a parent and child can come together and sign up ahead of time, and they can work with an educator or a volunteer in the classroom and learn practical living skills, work on letter sounds or counting, those kinds of things. We really like to promote Montessori education in the home.
Oh, see, that was very nice. Thank you, Yvonne.
How do you seek out the people that you want to help or that you can help?
Well, since Grace Place has been in existence for 17 years, a lot of the agencies, most of the agencies know of us. We refer people to other agencies, and they as well refer to us. Local churches, individuals, word of mouth. The store is a big place where people get to know Grace Place and what we do.
How do you get your funding for Grace Place?
Most of it is local corporations and donations. Also, the local churches partner with us.
Does the store provide a lot of your funding?
About 60% of what we need comes from the store, yes.
Carla, what are some of the long-range goals for Grace Place?
Well, that's the big picture, Joyce. There's a parable in the Bible that talks about having faith the size of a grain of mustard, a mustard seed plant, and once that's planted, and if the person has the faith, that grows up into a great big shrub that can give shelter to all the birds of the air. And shelter really is the future of Grace Place, the future need of Winona. The new shelter shelters would look a lot like the building that we're in right now. All of the things that we're doing here would be happening in that shelter, but then there would be that home environment where they could stay with on-staff person, or hopefully someday we'll have also shelters where there would be more independent living. And as the people gain more life skills, they would become more and more independent and more successful in the community.
If someone needs your help, how do you suggest that they go about receiving it from you?
All they have to do is give us a call here at Grace Place. Either Marlene Schuler, the mentoring program leader, or myself will sit down and talk with them, much like we're talking here today, and I'll find out what their needs are, and we'll begin to meet them the best that we can.
Wonderful. All right, Carla, will you share with us the satisfaction that you get out of running Grace Place?
The satisfaction, I guess that's just knowing that I'm doing what I was meant to do. And that's kind of hard to describe when you come in each day and you just kind of watch your day unfold. If I have an agenda, I don't always get to do that. It's somebody else leading my agenda. So, but it's just a delight and I don't know, I'm a missionary at heart, and I've read a lot about servant leadership, and I just have great joy in doing that.
Great. Well, you can feel very good about what you do. I know you bring a lot of help to a lot of people out there.
Thank you, Joyce.
Goodbye, family. Goodbye, family. Goodbye, family. Till next time. Goodbye, family. Goodbye, family. Goodbye, family. We'll see you again next time. Goodbye, Yvonne. Goodbye.
for joining me here today at Grace Place. Please join me again next week. Till then, enjoy the spirit of the Heartland.